Hey guys, this is SunsFan with an introduction to Fat Era.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
Fat Era is a.
Hopefully, okay. Well, all right. Hopefully, this is a little more balanced and in tune. And if not, well, you're gonna find out in 5 minutes that it's not, and you'll have to add more delay to it.
And then we're just.
So what you do is you right-click here, and then you kind of approximate the exact milliseconds.
Are you telling the chat how to do this?
No, I'm telling you how to do this.
Like,
because that's the only
right,
reason why I'm
stream.
on.
If there's delay, what you want to do is you want to go configure XSplit for us.
What are you doing there, dude? Are you just rubbing your nips? Oh, it looked like you're kind of like
Pulling them on.
No. Well, no, but you were like pulling on them, like. Okay, I got you. You Phoenix?
Get the hell out of here, Conrad.
So how you?
You're way too professional for this cast.
How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Terrible. Awful.
Dude, you don't sound that sick to me.
Right now, I'm not that bad.
Yeah, just keep popping these Ricolas.
Just breathe.
And then you're good to go. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth.
This is my story.
Oh,
I feel better. Okay.
just why don't you just feel better, dude?
Stop being sick.
Obviously, just turn off the delay.
That's not- that's not- stop being sick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is Zephyr versus MiTH.
Greetings and salutations.
You have a problem with my voice?
This is Fat Era reporting.
I mean, like, what if I just talk like
Beyond
this?
the
and
Summit
then sort of-
Studios.
Yeah, you know, just sort of talk like this. Hello, folks. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yellow. This is Purge.
It is actually Purge.
It is
On
really
Team Zephyr.
Purge Gaming.
We actually joined the game, and the first thing SunsFan wrote in the chat is, "Since when is Purge a pro?" So we're off to a good start.
Oh wow.
Purge's comeback was, "Since when is SunsFan a caster?" I think he's got a good point.
Oh,
It's
snap.
actually that's a good point.
Since when is Purge a bro? I'm not a bro. Wow. This is great.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, I think we're
Looks
we're
like
pretty much ready to go.
both teams are about ready to go here. I'm actually going to be replacing SunsFan for this cast. No, I really won't be, but hopefully you enjoy this cast. Looks like everybody's ready to go here, and we're going to start this game up shortly.
Ball.
Good thing they can't hear you. You're not saying anything useful.
I'm pretty sure they could hear him say balls.
Okay. Else you just brought on the message.
Blaze casting is for the NA Hub.
Join to the blue.
Join to the blue.
So anyway, here we go.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Take your seats.
Enjoy yourselves, and have a great evening.
Take your seat.
Hey, hopefully this is
This is
SunsFan and Cinderin bringing the TI4 qualifiers presented by Monster. This is the SCA division. I already said qualifiers, so I didn't want to say it again. But
Division is a
I
good
sound
word.
okay. I sound okay right now, kind of.
enjoy these 30 seconds until it goes to shit again.
Pretty much. Who we have for you next is MiTH Trust, who was, of course, in the last game, versus the one and only Zephyr. This is going to be the first game I've ever cast of Purge. So just a little preface, just to preface it. Yeah, you can't say a little preface, but to preface this a little bit, since I haven't cast him, either I'm going to give him a lot of compliments, or more likely going to troll him pretty bad. But just know that we're both very good friends, so you don't have to take it too personally. Kind of like what I do with Cinder, except I actually do hate Cinder, so that's a little bit different, I guess.
Nice try.
Okay, so
Good. We're
let's get into the draft.
Yeah, let's
Unless
have
you want
a
to be on.
look.
You want to be on camera a little more? You guys want to watch me wipe my nose a little bit? Okay.
Get in the fucking game. So, we've got Zephyr on Team Radiant. We will have MiTH Trust on the Dire. Actually, one of their players is disconnected, but I think the draft is still
Wait, what
going.
is
Wait
this?
a second now. The second player has
I
disconnected.
put it on the wrong screen. God, I'm so bad at this. bad at
Slightly
life.
worried as to where this draft is going to go from now. Oh, never mind. It's Lekels who's captaining, so I guess they can still draft.
Yeah.
Yep. So MiTH will be picking up the first pick, Centaur. This is certainly something else than the Americas qualifier once again. Bad Rider and Invoker has been banned quite a lot in both scenes, so has Lycan and Treant. But Zephyr, I feel like, you know, they are going to be one of the teams to really talk about in this qualifier. Some people are overrating them, some people are underrating them. Most people actually care about their progress in this tournament,
Right.
regardless of whether it's good or bad. It's one of the teams that people will be talking about the most. There's just so many storylines connected with these guys. Of course, it is the team of Westerners who travel to Korea to compete.
To win.
They've been doing great over there. And people have always been saying, yeah, you guys are doing great, but that's because it's Korea and the competition isn't that good. But now they get a chance to prove themselves against SEA teams where people were saying these guys don't stand a chance. So
Right.
far, I think they've been doing well. They, who did they beat in the first game? I actually
wow.
forgot. Let's see, what was their first game? That was First Departure that I believe Zephyr won. And I think they beat Mineski as well, but I could be wrong on that. Wait, that's actually... Yeah, they could have beaten Mineski. That was the game they played right before this one, but we
So,
didn't have time to check that.
Since you started talking, I now sound terrible again.
Yeah.
So thank
I
you so
said
much.
30 seconds. It's pretty
Yeah,
accurate.
it's pretty good. So Lycan Treant on the bands for MiTH Trust, followed by Invoker, Bat Rider. Those are like I feel like those are the standard bands these days, which we didn't see in the Americas at all. But Centaur and Disruptor for MiTH Trust, while Zephyr going for the EO Tiny combination. Of course, Disruptor is pretty good against them because once you relocate in, you can just glimpse somebody back. But they do have Centaur as well, which pretty much wins them the game, I think. God, this sounds horrible.
I can't hear any difference.
Yeah.
Sounds shit as always.
Somebody said that in chat. Like, are you serious? Like, how is it possible?
Oh, wow. Why are they... This is interesting. So why would you ban Death Prophet? I don't know if this is something Zephyr runs a lot. I have to admit, I haven't
Zephyr?
seen... Zephyr. People are saying that in a different way. Zephyr.
I know my friend says
Zephyr.
Zephyr. It's like the fear, but Zephyr.
Zephyr.
So continue with your thought about Death Prophet, please.
Death Prophet, I'm not sure why MiTH Trust are banning, if it's something Zephyr plays a lot, or if it's just something they're worried about the push potential combined by Tiny and Death Prophet, but it's a very unusual ban in the second phase. Sometimes it's the fifth ban if there's a really good opening for Death Prophet, but she gets picked fairly rarely. Wow,
Yeah.
that sounded good. I'm gonna say that some more.
That's fine. That's fine.
Ember banned by Zephyr, that's pretty common in the second phase, I would say, especially for SEA, and Viper too. So no big surprise there. Doxir being taken out by MiTH. And since Zephyr are on the Radiant, I feel like I've said this quite a few times already in this TI qualifier in general. I feel like Radiant's offlane, because of its flexibility, you just have more drafting options when you're on the Radiant, because you can offlane almost anything.
Radiant advantage.
Yeah, the Dire has Roshan, the Radiant has the better offlane. That's kind of the most banal breakdown you can do of the differences between the
Let's
two
not
sides.
get into the discussion about the how that's balanced.
No.
Because we'll talk. Like I can talk about that for hours, honestly. But yeah, it just seems like Radiant teams just have the advantage now because it's so much easier to get off to a good start, and it snowballs out of control a lot of the times. But then again, I mean, even on Dire, you can pick heroes that can survive, but you have a more limited option, I guess you could say. So that's something to keep in mind. So Puck's gonna be the pick for Zephyr in all likelihood. Although we've been seeing Puck actually, you can go offlane very easily because it's Radiant, like we just talked about. But of course, could be mid still. Wraith King from MiTH Trust. Let's get some mana burning people from Zephyr. Actually, I should say Wisp Tiny is probably gonna go mid. Actually, we see that more times than not, I feel.
And there's your mana burn. I was considering this could be a pickup for Zephyr before they got it. Mana burn against Wraith King. Generally an okay hero against Disruptor. When you get glimpsed back, if you have the Carapace ready, you can maybe reinitiate with that or turn the fight around. Against Centaur, I don't think Nyx is any good, to be honest. It's kind of like if you get caught out, you get burst down before you can even use your Carapace. But if you don't, maybe you can reflect the double edge. Still, overall, Zephyr, very classic picks. Nothing out of the ordinary, to be honest, for either side. But Zephyr has a good combination of global ganking. The other thing about the Nyx Assassin is that can be run offlane if they want. They can run it as a greedy support. They can even run it safe lane if they're running IO Tiny mid. And the goal of Zephyr's lineup is to find pickoffs, right? Nyx finds an opening, you have relocate. Puck finds an opening, you have relocate. Team fights are amazing for Zephyr as well. They have so much AoE control with Avalanche, Toss, Dream Call, the Waning Rift, the Nyx Impale. Just a very well-rounded lineup. And
Hold
this
on.
has been proven to work.
Let me talk for a second because I actually sound okay right now. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, that's all I had.
Right.
I didn't actually have anything to say.
All right, you just want to sound
And
good
now,
for
now I
once.
just sound terrible again.
Again, no difference.
Well, I will say, people say, and I still, it's hard for me to believe. It must be true that I have a good voice. Like, not like an AC kind of voice, but a good voice for videos. And I just can't stand listening to
Yeah,
it.
that's
Like,
true.
the way that I hear myself now, it does sound like my normal voice, I agree. It's just very nasally, very, awful. But yeah, Weaver's going to be picked for Myth Trust. And the bands, Rubik's going to be last band for Zephyr, followed by AA. So AA, okay, Lich was like instantaneously picked for Zephyr. They knew exactly what they wanted. Is this going to be, okay, so let's look at the possibilities here. Tiny Wisps, I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, mid lane, dual lane is more common than not these days.
Yes.
You can still go safe lane, obviously. You can turn it into a tri-lane with either Nyx or Lich, both of which can also go to the off lane. Same with Puck, so they have a lot of possibilities here.
Yeah, the really good thing about Zephyr's draft is that it's not obvious what they're going to do at all. Lich can dual lane off lane, Lich can even solo off lane if they want. Nick can be the solo off lane, they could put Puck mid, they could dual lane mid. Their lineup is just very well rounded, great for team fights, great for laning. One of the more solid lineups I feel like I've seen in the entirety of the qualifiers. Just makes a lot of sense, so they've done a very good job with the draft, I feel. And the great thing about it for them is that Myth Trust cannot rely on anything yet about how the lanes are set. The only thing that's pretty much guaranteed is that Io and Tiny are going to the same lane.
Right.
The rest is completely flexible. So if Zephyr won, they could even run an offlane Io Tiny if they think that's the best choice, which I doubt they're going to do, but it is an option.
Well, tell me
when
what you
have that.
think about the Lich, because, okay, so the Frost Armor, or Ice Armor, whatever you want to call it, was changed so you can put on towers. Not sure how important that is this game, but the Ice Armor, of course, has half duration, or half effect, I should say, against range heroes, so that, I guess, comes into effect for Weaver. But the hero itself, as far as, like, teamfight is concerned, needs to be set up by something. I don't know if Dream Coil is good enough for that. So, is this pick, like, is this a good pick, the Lich?
I
as,
feel like it is.
And the funny thing is, now it's even better pick because it'll cancel Enigma's ult. So,
Yeah.
so forget that. Before that, though, I felt like it's okay. It's just, I felt like there's better supports out there still, though. Unless they really want to do it, like, off lane.
I don't know. I feel like it's okay here because of how they can just, again, it gives them flexibility and they can put the lanes the way they want. And based on Myth Trust's first 4 picks, I think they weren't too worried about losing the laning stage on having a weak lane support. The other team has a Wraith King and a Disruptor. They were probably expecting the Wraith King to be a support, but that is in fact going to be played by Lakel, so we will have a jungling Enigma as the secondary support. But, I mean, overall for Zephyr, I feel like this is going to make a lot of sense. I would definitely favor them based on the draft. I think for Myth Trust, it comes down a lot to whether they can get a good initiation and set up a Black Hole. I feel like Black Hole is essential to their lineup, and that's when I feel like it's risky to get Enigma. When you're reliant on landing big black holes to win team fights, then the enemy team will counter you.
Right.
Enigma is great when it's a pickup that's just good, where you want to push the towers, you want to farm, you want to get a fast mech, demonic conversion, easy jungle route, and then black hole is like the icing on the cake that you can set up for. But here, I just don't see them winning team fights without landing that black hole. If you look at what they're fighting into and what they have at their own disposal, if you don't hit a black hole, you're going to need something like a 3-man hoof stomp, which I don't think you can rely on getting against their first lineup.
Well, if they do get a good black hole, if they can layer it correctly with the static storm and kinetic field, it actually could. It's almost like you're extending the duration of the black hole in a lot of ways. But aside from that, they don't really have too much AoE. I mean, the double edge, technically speaking, is AoE, and since black hole kind of brings everybody in, I'm not going to call that great synergy overall, but they do have the initiation from Centaur and then Wraith King, who I'm assuming will probably get Blink Dagger at some point. But then again, we haven't cast, or I at least haven't cast a whole lot of SCA, so I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be doing. Let's go over the heroes. I want to do Zephyr. It'd be my pleasure to introduce the Zephyr players. Sexy Bambo is going to be on the, we assume to be off-lane Puck at this point. I guess it could be anything though. Purge, the support. Lich, Blitz Dota on his Nyx Assassin, which is actually, that must be the mid-roll. Aosin on the Wisp, and of course Corey, the carry Tiny. And yeah, they smoke. God,
Yes.
Wisp looks so weird.
And just to correct myself from earlier, since it was a guess from me, I wasn't sure of the outcome of the previous game, to be honest. The chat told us that Mineski crushed Zephyr in the previous game. So
Okay.
this qualifier has been really interesting so far because the teams are just beating each other left, right, and center. The
Wait,
only
wait,
team
wait. How
that's
many games have they played?
Zephyr?
Yeah.
2. So they're 1 and 1.
Okay.
And from what I've understood, the only team that's looking really, really strong compared to everyone else is Arrow so far. So that's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it up. Anyway, MiTH Trust, we've got Lakells playing as the Weaver, one of his really good heroes. It's a great split-pushing hero. We've got TNK playing as Disruptor. It's going to be ABBA making a comeback. They
Ooh,
were
that's-
mainly relevant in the 80s, but perhaps the Centaur can bring them
Of
back
course.
in
It's
the
the new
groove.
Centaur set, by the way. I just had to mention it.
And we've got Kites on the Wraith King, checking the bottom rune. And finally, the Enigma will be played by Boom Bell. I kind of like that nickname. I feel like it sounds awesome.
Boom Bell?
A Boom Bell.
Okay. I
Who's
can
going
go
to
with that.
convert a creep in the bottom lane, immediately go to the fountain so that he can save his very important 5 clarities for going into the
Oh
jungle.
my god.
I don't imagine he's going to need all of those, but
I don't think I've seen more than 4 on an Enigma
Yeah.
before.
that generally cuts it. Sometimes I feel like 3 and actually
This is going to be an
does the
off-lane
job, but-
Wraith King for the Dire, and it's going to be
This is
versus
very
the Tiny
unusual.
EO. Do they have enough to kill the Wraith King? I suppose they do, but it's... Huh. That's really interesting. I've never seen an off-lane Wraith King before. How do you think this is going to fare?
Until Tiny hits a higher level, I think he can get experience just based on his raw, just flat HP, and that he's got boots first to try to outrun them a bit. But it's going to be absolute free farm for Tiny. Io just keeps harassing the Wraith King. Tiny will get every single last hit. Even if he's fighting against the Wraith King, he still has a 10 damage advantage for the last hits, so should be pretty okay for him in that lane. I'm more interested to see the top lane, to be honest, where I feel like Disruptor Weaver, in combination with an Enigma who started with a smoke, could very well be able to claim a kill or two very early. So when Lich is played in off lane as a dual lane support, you will very often be under your tower just because of how Sacrifice works.
Yeah.
So it makes it so easy for Enigma to wrap around right now. He's not going to do it on level 1, but on level 3, level 4 maybe, grab a kill on Purge, perhaps even on Bamboo, and then do some hefty damage to that tower. I think that needs to be the primary objective for MiTH Trust already 1.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and I think Wraith King's actually going to get pretty good levels here. I mean, he may die once, but I think overall they'll be happy with just getting levels on him for the most part. Blitz, the Nyx Assassin versus Centaur. This is such a dream come true to watch Centaur mid. I do like him versus Nyx Assassin. I don't know how you feel. The Impale is nice, but the Mana Burn is... Actually, no. Now that they changed Hoof Stomp to be a higher mana cost, actually the Mana Burn, although it's not great against Strength heroes, still better than normal against the Centaur since that change. But we'll see if that comes into effect. Aosin in the bottom lane with this Haste Rune.
Bleep bloop!
Gonna be harassing, I would imagine, the Wraith King, but chooses
Look,
to
I've
just
got a
run
haste.
by.
He
Maybe
just-
he's trying to get this,
Yeah,
this
I mean,
pull in time, but
okay.
no, it doesn't seem to be the case either. So Enigma, he has no mana, but of course the 3 clarities and the 50 gold soon to come from this countered ward. Very nicely done, good sir.
This is an incredibly obvious rotation coming out of Kites, but it doesn't look like Zephyr has picked up on it.
Uh-oh. Spike Carapace did not get popped. There's the Hoof Stomp, double edge, kabooyah! There's the Spike Carapace. They're just going to continue to fall. Impale's only going to hit one. The first blood goes to MiTH Trust still. They don't find Nyx Assassin. Weaver ended up getting the kill on Purge at top lane. I'm surprised they couldn't get the kill on Blitz, to be honest.
That was just a really clutch carapace. And it wasn't because MiTH Trust misplayed that. I think they landed everything completely correctly for that gank. Got all the abilities off before the carapace. They just needed to hit one more attack, but then he managed to get it off and get a good impale with the salve. So, nice survival by Blitz. The rotation from Wraith King I feel like was very obvious, so I'm actually surprised he got away with getting there without Blitz just backing off. But at the end of the day, it's totally not worth it for MiTH Trust. He sacrificed an entire level he could have gotten the bot lane.
Well, actually, they didn't have wards at the bottom lanes. Lakel's going to take some harassment damage from Sexy Bamboo and Purge. Not sure if they're going to be able to finish him off, but they're going to be using their time to try to take out these neutral camps that TNK is pulling. And it is a level 3 Disruptor. Disruptor is a hero that pretty much was the MVP of the Americas qualifiers, which, funnily enough, is still not over yet. Now that I think about it, which is really weird. It's a 2-2 tie between NAR and Team Liquid, so that should be an interesting match. I think it's going to be later today, if I'm not mistaken.
It's gonna be, yeah, depending on what time zone you're in. It's today or tomorrow.
Our
but
sleep schedules are so effed in the A right now, and that's going to make things even worse, because those are the two biggest difference in time zones. Bottom, they're going to find the... So Centaur is getting the bottle. I like to see that. Haven't seen the mid Centaur in a very long time. What do you think about that hero mid, just generally speaking?
generally not so good, but since Return is actually pretty good in one-on-one, it can work in some cases, and he does very well against melee heroes. So if that was the read from MiTH, that it was going to be Nyx Assassin mid, then I like this choice, honestly.
But then again, Nyx Assassin isn't really a hero that's going to right-click you a whole lot anyway.
No, exactly. So if he were to be playing against an IO Tiny, I think it would be a really hard lane for him, or just Puck with any sort of ganking would probably be able to bring him down, but the lane he's got so far, it's been a good choice for MiTH Trust, so they're looking okay so far. 500 experience in gold in 5 minutes, so nothing too significant. I think the offlane Wraith King is actually a really good idea if he gets level 6 before dying. Then he's kind of done his job. He doesn't need to get too much farm. He just needs to be a frontliner with the aura for the Weaver as well as the Centaur. And then, yeah.
He'd be a lot closer to level 6 if they didn't go for that gank.
Exactly. He would be level 5 by now.
But I still feel like they had a decent chance to kill. I mean, it wasn't like a terrible gank by any means, so it's not anything to point fingers at or anything like that. Sexy Memo going to continue to duel lane with Purge. He right now is working towards his boots, not farming very well. What does he have? He has 16 last hits only. As they're going to take a little bit of harassment here. Purge getting glimpsed in. He's going to be stuck in the kinetic field. Is this going to be enough right click? Yes, indeed.
Nice camera. Okay, actually there was a kill. God damn it, I was looking at bottom.
Oh, okay, thank you. You're just making fun of me left and right.
Might get a second kill here. Corey does not have mana, and he is going to get Fire Blast. That's what it's called.
Double edge. Kabooyah! Beautiful! So 2 dead for Zephyr. MiTH Trust doing a very nice job of getting kills in multiple lanes. Was there another kill somewhere else or something? So what are you talking about? Oh, did Lakel's get the courier? Actually, what happened there?
No.
Okay, no, that's a multi-kill. Whenever I see that multi-kill thing, I always think it's a courier getting killed. But yeah, I can't catch 2 kills at once. I mean, come on.
Oh. I prefer directed camera to your camera.
Yeah, that's true. In the lounge, we're using directed camera a whole lot, so we're kind of getting used to that, to be honest. We've missed not as many kills.
Putting some pressure on Bambo here. It's going to get glimpsed.
Glimpsed into the kinetic field. Has the phase shift. Going to dodge the swarm. Pretty decent overall. Did he... He jaunted back. Huh?
Very good orb by Bambo there.
It worked out really well.
So, overall, easily an advantage from MiTH early on. Of course, they have a jungling Enigma, so they're going to get a lot of experience in gold advantage just based on that, even though there is a Lich on the enemy side. The question for me is, when does Corey come online? He went Midas first on the safe lane Tiny, so he's going to get really farmed. The Weaver might be going Midas now, but that's going to be way, way later than the one that Tiny has. Io is level 3 only, so Relocate is far away. It's going to be a lot of work for Zephyr to put use of this bottom lane, I feel, but maybe the Nyx Assassin can be the big player. He's level 7, almost 8 at 7
bottom
minutes.
lane is in some trouble here. Both Centaur and Enigma
Nyx TPing in.
Here. And the boom goes onto the Wisp, and the aggression continues.
Great impale.
Great impale from Blitz Dota, but the...
Oh, the Carapace!
The Carapace stops Enigma's ult. That is truly unfortunate for MiTH Trust, but of course, Wraith King is back with Reincarnation, and the right click should suffice. The TP's a little bit too late. Of course, this is like a 1,000,000-second TP from the Wisp. Not a whole lot he can do. Only level 3 at this point. Top lane, a little bit more aggression. Lakel's level 7. And yeah, MiTH Trust is just doing way better than last game. That's for damn sure.
I'm surprised this laning phase is going so much their way, because the Enigma hasn't been involved too much. They're just winning the lanes by using Stampede, pretty much. Getting a lot out of that. So, of course, that's one of the boons of running a Centaur solo mid, is how fast you get Stampede online to help your side lanes. Speaking of side lanes, Wraith King might be gone on here. No, he's level 8 now. That's huge for an offlane Wraith King at 8 minutes. Bring up the level chart and let's have a look at that. They've got 3 level 8 heroes at 8 minutes. That's very, very, very good.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Even Disruptor level 6, so he has his...
You reminded me of Dr. Bombay there.
Dr. what?
Dr. Bombay.
I don't know what that is. That's from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's an artist from the 90s. Okay. You've got something to look up, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
I am a taxi driver. I like it very much.
Lakel's Purge. Oh, Purge! Taking the swarm. He's going to use his Frost Blast. Lakel's one more right click's not going to do it. In fact, the swarm not quite enough, but mid lane is where we're really going to be looking. I technically caught the kill. Puck goes down to the Centaur. Ult initiation.
Technically caught the kill.
I just
nice work.
It's like something in my brain
I
just
bet
wants to
Purge
watch
would have done
die.
a better job.
I want to watch
camera
Purge
work.
feed, man.
Bottom
Corey,
lane, Toss is
even if
available.
they get
Oh,
this
Toss is the
kill,
wrong target, but
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
they're still gonna get him.
I don't see how they're going to kill him a second time, but of course
He
the
just
level
got-
1 ult is so low. What?
Huh?
Did they kill him twice?
He died beforehand in the bottom fight when the carapace came
Yeah,
off.
so the cooldown is just so redonkulous that you forget that's even used. But this tier 1 tower is dead in Myth Trust's favor. But, I mean, even with that Death Wraith King, like you said, as Blink Dagger's not picked up on Centaur, so very nice timing overall. Blitz going to find the Enigma.
Blitz is going to find a lot of people.
Oh boy, he doesn't have his
Get
vendetta.
that
He's gonna
triple stun.
Beautiful triple impale.
Oh, triple coil!
Triple coil to follow. Do they have enough damage to finish anybody off, though? TNK getting very low. Static Storm's going to silence everybody on the high ground. TNK is just going to go into his actual Static Storm and just
Weird
die to the
glimpse.
right clicks. The toss is there to finish him off. Enigma and Centaur on the back end trying to get away. Centaur, somehow they did not hit him and was able to blink out. That was interesting.
Kells will be trying to perhaps snipe out Purge here. He's still waiting around. I'm not quite sure what if he's expecting to pull this off. Yes, he is.
There he goes. Shikuchi's there. Swarm to follow. Right clicks. Is that going to be enough to get the kill? It is indeed. Meanwhile, Blitz getting rolled over by the Centaur Wraith King. So tanky. There's not a whole lot you can do with a Nyx in that scenario. I mean, we didn't really mention how tanky these two heroes are, and the fact that Wraith King's getting so many levels, he's essentially a core with Centaur now. So two very, very tanky heroes that we're going to see in the initiation from Sexy Bambo. My goodness, the burst damage. Even the Stampede is used just to ensure the kill. Corey, Maleficent, it just kills all over the place. Myth Trust is playing so much more aggressive than last game, I should say. Black Hole, Wraith Fire Blast, and this is a dead Corey. This is not looking good for Zephyr.
Yeah, and he's going to TP in the Io and immediately get glimpsed. That tower is done for. Seems like the power of trust is stronger than the power of friendship. Would you agree?
That's really well said. Thank you. Can you tell in the inflection of my voice I'm really excited about that statement? I apologize for being dead inside, but it's just how it is.
You're also dead on the outside, if that's any
Remember
relief
last
for you.
game? You remember last game? I almost called you Purge.
Did you call me Purge?
I almost did.
Hello, everybody. This is Syndrin. Oh, top lane, Blitz. Blitz is thinking about it. He will go.
Oh my god, that was... I don't even know what's going on, but the Impale to follow on Abba. He's getting quite low. Of course, Stampede was already used. The Wisp Spirits are going to be enough to get the kill, and the right click actually has done so. Lakel's finishes off. Poor little Puck. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 exchange. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Wraith Fire Blast upon Corey. Corey's going to be trying to be saved here from Aosin, but his relocate is on cooldown, so the right clicks will continue. Wraith King has his ultimate, doesn't really care about taking damage here. Oh, he doesn't have enough mana. The wand is not okay, it is enough to actually, but he's not going to die either way. And the right clicks continue to be pounded upon.
Is he gonna have the confidence to use his stun
Disruptor
here?
gets a kill on Lich in the other end of the field here. Of course, Wraith King has the Blink Dagger. I didn't even realize that. Sexy Bambo TP's in. Not gonna be able to finish off anybody. Doesn't have any burst damage. And like I was gonna say, last game, the Puck didn't get the Blink Dagger until about minute 16. Well, Sexy Bambo is gonna have his Blink Dagger way later than that at this rate.
It's really not looking good for Zephyr. I feel like they drafted this to get off to a good laning stage, and they've just been outplayed on every single lane. So MiTH just read them. They figured out what the lanes were going to be. They put the best lanes they could against it, and they've been doing a great job. And they're just not letting go on the aggression. They're getting more than a kill per minute, constantly roaming around with all of their aggressive heroes. Now Bambo.
Stop and double edge right click Maleficent. Tastes delicious. Horse meat. Double damage as well. Adding insult to I don't know what that is.
It's a Suns fan impersonation.
That's terrible.
That was actually really accurate.
I don't know about that. I refuse to believe that I sound like a dying
Right, here's
horse.
here's the Suns fan impersonation.
Sniffling. You sound so disgusting. Wraith King really
Good
needs
impersonation then.
Wraith King really needs to get level 11 so this ultimate does not have such a long cooldown. And with the next creep, he should be able to get that. Centaur waiting on the bottom lane as well. He's going to show himself, though. Still has the DD from that kill, which seems like forever ago. Top lane, we might have some aggression with Lascelles.
Bottom lane again, though.
Lakel's, I
Wraith
should
King's
say.
gonna go in.
Stuns Purge. Just gonna right click, zone them out, and continue upon this tower. Now, Lakel's. Okay.
They're gonna need to make a relocate gank right now.
Lane.
They have to relocate.
Yeah, we
this.
haven't seen that yet, have we?
They're just gonna let it fall. Now there we go, but they're gonna
Oh,
relocate
into
one
the
hero
static
into
storm.
the static
Aosin, you are
storm.
dead.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. A nice phase shift, dodging the hoof stomp for Sexy Bambo, but Corey he wasn't there, apparently. Relocate with nobody there.
That's the second
weird.
time in this tournament a relocate, or not in this qualifier, but in the overall TI
That was with
qualifiers
the
that a
BKB
relocate
though.
gank went completely
Corey
wrong.
gets the avalanche off.
And
He's
he's
just
like,
gonna TP.
I'm out, guys. Didn't work.
So yeah, really sloppy play from Zephyr this game. I think they're just a little bit nervous that we're, me in particular, is casting them for the first time. They really want to impress the Suns fan. They respect my opinion. They respect my authority.
This is actually a tribute to you. This is how you would play. Actually, they're still playing way better than we would.
Please, this Centaur is how
They're
I would
trying to keep over your level of feed. Not quite there yet, but
play. The Centaur, bro. Oh,
doing their
Blitz
best job.
in
Yeah,
Vendetta
Blitz
mode.
should have
Vendetta
probably
mode.
just gone for that. I don't know if he can even kill TNK anymore. He's actually pretty high. He has about 1,000 hit points on the Disruptor. Went for the double gauntlet build, turning that into an urn most likely.
Oh boy.
Blitz.
Oh.
Still no vision. He could kill the courier here if he sees that coming in now.
Here we have the
But-
initiation. Double hoof stomp on the Corey and Purge. Corey and all likely will go down. There's the Chain Frost. It's going to get a kill, but of course that's Wraith King. He will come back from the grave. Corey still very low, and that's their main source of damage at this point because Puck just not doing anything. And that is a kill. It's going to be a little bit of a sandwich here on Sexy Bambo. They're trying to kill out Wraith King, but look at the radius of Midnight Pulse these days. Sexy Bambo still with no blink, being so aggressive with very little items. Blitz trying to chase his poor TNK. Is this even worth it at the end of the day? Pops his Vendetta. Oh, he's going to get hoof stomp. There's a Sentry!
Oh my goodness!
Wow! Centaur FT dubs, good sir. Oh, that was hot.
That was legit.
That was sick.
That was pretty legit.
That
right
was
there from
beautiful. That was your face.
That was awesome.
Alrighty, so 21-7 advantage for MiTH Trust. They're playing really well. I feel like last game they did play nothing like it wasn't Orange. Orange played well, okay, but it's not. It was more MiTH Trust playing poorly. I feel at least like they just didn't get off to a good start. Never got their footing in the game. Corey's gonna find Lakel's in the jungle, or vice versa, I should say. But Corey will be fine at least for now. He's gonna be going for drums overall. Would you agree with my amazing assessment on MiTH Trust just not playing well last game?
Yeah, I would agree they didn't play well. I feel like in this game, the main problem Zephyr has is that they just don't get good initiations. They have the lineup for it. They totally have the opportunities, but they seem like they get caught off guard more than they catch off guard. It's always them being initiated on, always them that have to reinforce. They're generally a man down in the fights because the first one just gets bursted by Centaur.
Oh, Centaur, now you say?
And the Roshan is going to get brought down now as well. So in the next fight, it's going to be even easier for MiTH Trust. By the way, the fight in the top lane, Lakel's did die and bought back and time-lapsed into the fight again. So kind of of course, that is not really an amazing play any longer. It was pretty cool the first few times, but still, it's an interesting mechanic you can always make use of with Weaver.
Indeed.
Bambo will be jaunting to the high ground. We'll see if Centaur actually tries to pursue this. He does have Stampede and a Haste Rune, but
He is a man. He's a man.
he's a man, so he's going to run back. Okay.
Have you ever heard of a
so
man
the-
horse pig?
What?
Have you heard man bear pig before? I'm taking that as a no because you're Euro. You don't know what South Park is. He's a man horse pig. That's all you really
Okay.
need to know. Okay. So top lane. Corey.
What do you think about the 4-step
Oh,
on
he's
Centaur?
trying
there?
to TP out. The Wraith Fire Blast is there. I don't see him way out of this unless EO can come in and teleport him out. He's going to do that, but this means Aosen's the one that's going to die now.
Good luck, Corey. Aosin.
Good luck, Corey Aosen.
Look at the
this.
Centaur!
And boom! And boom.
Don't ever do that again.
Why? Why don't you
Please.
like me, Cinder? Why don't you like my sound effect? This is the first time I've actually seen ice armor placed on a tower in a competitive game. We'll see how it works. I believe it's level 1, so 3 armor. Of course, the slow is the exact same for duration and the amount you actually get from it. Let's see. Let's see if it's noticeable. It is noticeable. It's really nice. I like that. I kind of like that change. It's kind of random. Oh boy, more boom from Abba. Sexy Bambo's gonna face shift the Wraith King stun, but alas, the right clicks will be enough to pick him out. Lakel's being a little bit aggressive. But of course he
Abba's
has the
just been
ages.
all over the place this game. He plays so aggressively.
He's almost as good as me on Centaur.
Yeah.
I have to check if he's top 50. Maybe he is. Maybe he is better than me.
What do you think about the force staff on that guy?
On Centaur?
Yeah.
Well, it's more mobility. I mean, I feel like if you're ahead, it's fine. Well, it depends on the game, I suppose. Technically speaking, it's okay against like Dream Coil. Obviously, you're gonna get stunned out of it a second time, but sometimes that's enough to actually get out. But this game in particular, don't think it matters. I feel like you could have gone something way more greedy if you wanted, to be honest.
I'm just wondering what the reasoning is, because you're right, he could have got anything. They're completely steamrolling Zephyr in this game, but I'm wondering if it's a way of dealing with Tether and a way of dealing with the relocate ganks. If he's already blinked in, he has a way out again, or if there's some sort of different reason for it, or maybe he just wants all the mobility and isn't really thinking too much
I
about
think
it.
generally speaking, it's okay. This game in particular, there's nothing that stands out, like you said. So, but again, not sure it's gonna really matter. Wraith Fire Blast applied to Aosin. If they can get a nice Dream Coil, then they can. Well, again, we talked about the Chain Frost. It's not the greatest synergy with Dream Coil. Like, you need them enclosed. Like maybe if there was a vacuum in between or something like that. Was he banned this game, Darkseer?
Yes, he got banned
Okay.
4th.
Still getting used to the pick bans for SEA because it is quite different than what we're used to.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing to get into a different qualifier, because it seemed like the American qualifier just had its own metagame, which I feel like is.
It got a little. I'm not gonna say stale, but you could predict pretty much.
It
like,
was
half the
pretty
things.
far from the international,
Yeah.
the overall metagame, where I feel like so far the SEA one has been closer.
Sexy Bambo dies.
I wonder if Centaur set that up. He's pretty much been setting up every single
Let's
kill.
see. So 7,
on
2,
this
and
puck.
9. No, hasn't been in all of them, unfortunately. But yeah, his kill attendance is quite high. Wraith King. Thought he initiated, but we'll think better of it. The gem is at the base. Pretty sure they got that a lot earlier and already counterword. I'm not sure, actually. Maybe I could be wrong there. Or perhaps they picked that up from Zephyr. I doubt Zephyr had a gem, although obviously it would be good against Weaver and whatnot, but I don't think. I mean, Corey, Ogre Club, he's going for a BKB. Actually, no, that could be, I guess, an Aghanim Scepter, but typically you see the point booster first. But even if he is going for BKB, it's just going defensive on a tiny like that is never a good
Oh, look at how
sign.
Lakel's is playing this. He's just toying with them.
Really aggressive.
He does have the Aegis and, of course, a buyback into time-lapse, so he can play this aggressively. He has Aegis, he has time-lapse. Well, if he time-lapse, he can't buyback time-lapse, but definitely has 3 lives.
Aosin trying to get a 2-man stomp stomp his Centaur.
Nice
He's not gonna
impale
get
by
it.
Blitz.
Yeah, Aosin goes down, but so does Centaur, so that's going to be a good trade for Zephyr, at least from the early stages here.
This is
Stampede
just
being
reckless from
saved.
MiTH, honestly.
He could buy back right now and use Stampede if he wanted to, but Wraith King's going to go down. Reincarnation's going to slow everybody on Zephyr.
Oh, the Blade Mail kills
Blade Mail.
Blitz.
God, that's insane. They're just, I feel like they're just
Insane.
hiding.
He clicked a button.
I said the Blade Mail is insane, not the usage itself.
Why is Blade Mail insane?
It's just an insane item. They're just forcing Zephyr back. The fortifications used, but this is going to be a dead Rax.
It's a goner.
Oh,
Oh,
maybe
good
not,
blink
maybe
coming out
not.
from Kites.
Black Hole still there. Watch Centaur come up in 8 seconds. Use Stampede, and then this fight's over. There's
Glimpse.
Nice Chain Frost, but there's
Oh!
Black
Oh!
Hole's actually canceled. The Chain Frost is bouncing decently off. Of course, there's the Blade Mail on the field here. Centaur has his ult. Not sure why he's not using it. Very odd. Very odd indeed. It is global, after all. He's going to TP there. Lakel's
And
just
there's a
chasing
courier.
Sexy Bambo. Sexy Bambo is going to get out, though. And the chase continues. Blitz is going to initiate upon TNK. Impale is there. But here comes Centaur. Kaboom! Of course, Spike Carapace is not going to block the stun, but the damage is there. There's the Centaur ult. Is that going to be enough to take out Blitz? And it is. The kinetic field holds him in place. So, a 2-for-1 in this mini engagement. Doesn't look like they're going to finish off the melee Rex yet, but I feel like that's just inevitable.
He's got the full axe now on Corey. This game isn't
Really?
over yet
Okay.
if they get a miraculous fight now.
Is this on the courier?
Yes. It is possible for Zephyr if MiTH do this again. That was just way too cocky for them. They know they're ahead. They dove the tier 3. They almost dove the tier 4s. Exposed themselves very heavily to that to the Zephyr counter initiation.
24-minute blink.
That was such a clutch silence from Bambo, by the way. If he didn't get that off, they would have lost the game. It was looking like a great black hole. Bambo just immediately on the money with the silence, stopping the
thought that
Black Ball
was
and turning
the-
around.
The Chain Frost. I know the only
I'm pretty sure the three others were caught in it. Bambo was
Okay.
outside, I think.
the first proc from Chain Frost is the stun, not the rest, obviously. And I don't remember exactly how it went down. But if that's true, then kudos to... I mean, that's actually impressive to do without a Blink Dagger, honestly. So, well done. Of course, Enigma does not have a BKB. He's working on it right now. Once he gets that, the only thing that can stop him is the Chain... I believe the stun from Chain Frost goes through BKB, if I'm not mistaken, right? Pretty sure.
Yes.
But yeah, Blink Dagger now in Sexy Bambo, so they can start setting things up. But of course, they are still far, far behind. Blink on Nyx as well, so that's double Blink Dagger. Purge is working on his Force Staff. It's going to be a ways away. And like you talked about, Aghanim Scepter. Tiny, it's not the worst timing in the world, honestly. It's really the Blink Dagger.
He's got
that's
pretty
awful.
good farm, considering the game. I think Corey has done a pretty good job. He's almost same net worth as the Weaver and Enigma, which are on a heavy winning team that hasn't even lost a tower. So that's okay. It's the other heroes that are way, way behind.
Yeah.
The thing is, if Zephyr can somehow defend this bottom tier 3 and get some kills, Corey is going to be farming faster than any hero on MiTH, with Io guiding him around with the overcharge.
But look at
the
this.
problem is they can't get
Sage.
outside the base.
Halberd is going to be built on Wraith King very shortly. And with no BKB coming from Tiny.
It's probably going to be his next item, though.
You think so?
The timing could overlap.
Okay. We'll see if that's the case. Trying to make this game interesting. I think you're right. The Aghanim Scepter is never to be underestimated from Tiny, but of course, he's like you talked about, he's the lone farmer on this team. It drops off considerably. I mean, everybody's pretty much on the same field as the Disruptor on the opposite team, which is only one player for MiTH Trust. Which is kind of sad to see that that's the case for Disruptor. After the amazing play we've seen in the Americas, Disruptor probably the standout hero, I would say. Corey gonna try to run away. There's the Centaur Stomp and the boom. Aosin getting very low, and the toss is gonna help finish him off. Now the chase continues on to Corey, who pops the drums. Thunderstrike is there. Can they catch up? Of course, he has
Glimpse
no
is
blink or anything
available.
like that. Glimpse, Kinetic Field. He's stuck. Wraith Fire Blast, Hoof Stomp, the Blade Mail for whatever reason, and the Double Edge. Actually, he
got the
kills
kill
himself
because
with
of
the Blade Mail. That's so fitting. Why do I cast these games? Either way, 2 dead for Zephyr, and is Roshan up? It's going to be another 2 minutes before that occurs. And with that, I think... You know what I'm really shocked by is Weaver's farm. Like, look at his net worth. Is something on the Courier? Okay, he has Deso. I thought he finished Deso a long time ago, and it's been on the Courier, so...
Yeah, it's not the earliest. To be honest...
He's had that for a bit, though, I think.
Yeah, he must have. He's got 1 death only, and that's a long time ago, and he has 1k in the bank. I think the Courier has been in use, else he would have had that death on him earlier. This isn't the worst and not the best time
Aosin
either.
At half HP to start off this fight. Blade Mail's problem, that's actually kind of wasted overall. Nice waiting away from Sexy Bambo. He's going to blink out, though, through the jaunt.
He's going to get glimpsed now. Oh, mistimed it.
It doesn't get glimpsed correctly.
No glyph available for
nice
Zephyr.
Avalanche. Melee Rex is down. That's pretty much the main...
Oh, nice
objective
Chain
for
Frost from
Chain
Purge
Frost
here.
And a Dream Coil to follow, but there's a static field. Corey
Oh my god.
Chain Frost continuing the bounce. Wraith King's the only casualty of war as of yet. But the chase is here. Oh, nice. A nice time lapse from the Weaver. 2 dead. 3 dead for Zephyr. And they're just chasing in the base. Glimpse on top of Malefice, on top of Kinetic Field. He's going to toss. Oh, almost going to get the kill on Abba. He does so. With the full combination, nobody's really close to take the damage for him. But Tiny will fall as a trade. It's a 4-for-1, so obviously MiTH can take this any day of the week. This is going to be a free range Rax, if not more. Of course, that Desolator is helping this push quite a bit. And Sexy Bambo, I feel like he's just doing that over and over. He's throwing that in with the Blink Dagger, Waning Rift, and then lose your orbs out every single time. Locales, they're going to play this safe, back up knowing that Roshan should be up any moment. In fact, he is right now.
Yeah, that was an amazing Chain Frost out of Purge. The follow-up just wasn't there. They weren't in a good position to turn and fight. They can't really commit in with the Tiny until he has the BKB, so it's too risky for Corey to initiate into the fight. So the fight needs to come to him, and then they need to land their abilities. I feel like with the Blink on Puck, they should be aiming to set it up together with the relocate, perhaps, so that they
How
start the
many times have we
relocate
seen a successful relocate so far? That's been a big
0
issue.
times, I think.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They first picked IO Tiny, and it just hasn't worked out for them. They even had the safe lane and didn't have any contestant for them, so honestly a little bit disappointing. coming out from Zephyr from that combo. I think they could have done way more in this game if they were more aggressive. They did draft to set it up with the Nyx as well as the Puck, but it was always them getting caught out. Didn't take the initiative around the map. MiTH, on the other hand, they're just constantly on the hunt. They've still got more than a kill per minute, and we're 30 minutes into the game now. It doesn't look like they're going to stop until that throne is down.
Right. BKB can... Oh, Halberd is officially finished now on Wraith King, and this is going to be big time trouble for Tiny. If he's not able to finish that BKB. He's not that close. He's about 500 from finishing the Mithril Hammer, but then he still needs the recipe, unless there's something on the Courier, and it doesn't look like that's the case. So they have to somehow delay this, and I'm not sure if they're even going to see the Halberd and see how much in dire straits they're going to be in if this is going to continue here. BKB on wow, Weaver is just going full defensive. Is this even necessary this game? BKB and Lincoln's with one DPS item.
I think my PC crashed.
Your PC crashed?
We lost.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you can cast off my screen, bro. That's all good.
Oh god, now I can't do all this expert insight because you're looking at useless stuff.
You like Disruptor, huh? You like? Tier 3 tower at half dead.
Oh, okay, there we go. It was no, don't worry, it was just a 30-second spike. I'm back in.
Cool.
No problem.
I'm glad to see that. So this tier 3 is dead. They're going to continue pressure onto this
There's the
barracks.
relocate.
Yep, relocate. But the Static Storm is there. Not going to keep him into the kinetic field. Nice avalanche toss combination, but the Blade Mail is doing work. Corey, very low. And there's a great Chain Frost.
Chain Frost are amazing.
But the creeps are there to tank up a lot of the damage now. And these racks are in dire straits again. Lakel's, I feel like he's just been off doing his own thing for the most part. Pops his BKB, not going to get stunned from anyone.
Yeah, that's game.
Corey's dead. Solo Black Hole is going to finish this game off as Blitz Dota will be the last to fall next to the fountain. Purge, just chilling like a villain. And Sexy Bamboo went Dagon. That's really weird, I feel like. That is really weird to go Dagon in a game that you're behind and nobody.
It might be the most cost-effective item he could get at the time.
Yeah, perhaps.
He had to have an impact.
Everybody's so tanky at MiTH Trust.
Yeah.
It's probably either way. It's too little, too late. I don't think we even saw the Halberd because that's a decently long cooldown. So the Halberd not even used in that fight. And MiTH Trust is 2 racks down, or 2 racks up, I should say.
I don't think they leave the base at this point. They just thrown it.
Yeah.
The respawn timers on Zephyr are too long. The 30 seconds on Tiny, who is their main net worth hero right now, won't be coming back for this.
Tier 4 towers are destroyed, and the Ancient will follow. So good game to Zephyr. Now, they've played 2 games or 1?
This is their 3rd game, and they're currently 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Okay.
So they did win against First Departure, who then proceeded to beat Scythe, which is a really big upset, I think. And then they lost to Mineski, and now they've lost to MiTH. So 1 and 2. They have the win against First Departure, I think, could become really important. The way this qualifier is turning out right now, as I said, I think every single team has lost a game apart from Arrow. I could be wrong on that, but most teams have at least had like 1-1 or something along those lines. So Zephyr with a 1 and 2 stat so far, definitely not out of it yet. The question for me is if they can pull themselves together, because honestly, even though they're the underdog in this tournament, I feel like we're not insulting anyone if we say this just wasn't good enough. They're definitely better than this, even though they're not the strongest team in the tournament.
Right.
Just overall, a poor performance. They had the picks, they had the lanes, they didn't use their draft. MiTH, on the other hand, might have not had the best lanes in the world, to be honest. They just outskilled Zephyr all over the map. They found openings, they moved better.
You're supposed to keep talking. That's just awkward when you stop talking and I'm doing this.
That's kind of the point, right?
I think a lot...
Throwing you under the bus.
Do you think Zephyr has the most fans of anybody in this qualifiers? But
I think Mineski does.
Okay,
Mineski
that's a
has the
good
most
point. I
fans.
think Zephyr has a lot, but the problem with them... it's not really an issue, but a lot of their fans are in, like, United States.
Yeah.
And the timing right now, what time is it? It's very early in the morning.
It
like
is
2
2 a.m.
2 a.m. So, unfortunately, the fans have to stay up really late or get up ridiculously early to watch these games. But, of course, there's a VODs for this coming out every single day on dotacinema.com/VOD, so you can check that out anytime you like. But yeah, I agree. Zephyr, they have potential. I think you're right. When actually, the way you said it was kind of weird. You said people underrate them and they overrate them. So which one is it?
What I mean is how can I explain this? People commenting on Zephyr are really polarized. It's like some people think they're really terrible. I feel like there's no like middle ground, which I feel like is the most fair assessment to that team, to be honest.
Okay.
Some people say they're going to get absolutely trashed in this tournament, and others are like, we believe in Zephyr, we think they're going to be good enough, we think they can be a top contender in this qualifier.
It's the power of friendship.
Realistically for me, they're in the middle of the field.
Mm.
And that means with this field being as flexible as it is, they could totally make a tiebreaker or maybe even the playoffs directly. But with this type of performance, they're ending easily in the bottom 4, if not the bottom 2. This was simply not good enough. I think they are going to realize that themselves and completely agree and acknowledge that. My question is, can they figure out the mistakes from the game and correct them for the next game?
Right. Completely agree. I completely agree, Syndrome. This looks so...
It is actually a pretty good representation of you. It's like you and this guy have a lot in common. It's like...
Why?
I can imagine when this guy talks with his tongue, it's kind of like how you sound.
Nah. Like that?
Like the centaur sound you were making. Ooh.
That's not that's boom.
No,
It's boom headshot. It's boom double edge. Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta
Transition, please.
we gotta make a clip of that.
Get out.
That was so bad. But I love it. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Next up on this stream is...
Zyori and Merlini casting RRQ against Zephyr.
Actually,
so you're going to get
two
more
Zephyr games in a row, actually, on the stream.
And
so.
then afterwards, we will have on the stream, there will be Zephyr MVP. So actually 3 Zephyr games in a row because we just cast one.
Yep.
And then ending up here with Arrow and Mineski. On the primary stream, we will be joining that at 3:40, so in about 1.5 hours.
We'll see if Gods and
casting
LD
over
want
there.
me on their main stream with me sounding like a horse on
I
tranquilizer.
feel like it's not the sound that's the problem, it's your attitude.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys let us know in chat how much you love my voice, and you love Cinder's
We
face,
love you, Suns.
and you love the Phoenix Suns. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back very shortly. Till next time.
This is Purge, signing out.
Bye, everybody. This is Purge. I can't remember.
Click the right button. Mute our mic.